If you use Windows 11, you might want to stop what you are doing right now and pay close attention, because a new update called KB5074109 has been quietly rolling out, and for many users, it has caused serious issues that most people didn't expect. At first, it looked like just another routine security and stability update, the kind that Windows installs automatically in the background while you continue working, gaming, or browsing the web. But after thousands of users installed it, reports started appearing across forums, tech communities, and social media describing strange behavior, system slowdowns, broken features, and in some cases, complete system instability. What makes this situation even more concerning is that Windows 11 installs many updates automatically, meaning a lot of people may already have this update without even realizing it. If your computer suddenly feels slower, if your applications are crashing more often, if your system startup takes longer than usual, or if random glitches are appearing in the interface, this update could be the reason behind it. When Microsoft releases updates, they usually include improvements to security, bug fixes, and performance optimization. In theory, updates are supposed to make your computer safer and more stable. But occasionally an update introduces new problems that were not fully detected during testing. That appears to be exactly what has happened with KB5074109. Shortly after the update began rolling out, users started reporting that their systems were behaving differently. Some noticed that Windows Explorer began freezing randomly. Others reported that the Start menu stopped responding, and many experienced performance drops that made their computers feel much slower than before. In some cases, gaming performance dropped dramatically, with frame rates falling and stuttering becoming more frequent. Another issue that many users noticed was unusually high CPU and memory usage after installing the update. Normally, when your computer is idle, resource usage should remain low. But after this update, some users discovered that background processes related to the update were consuming large amounts of system resources. This meant that even powerful computers started behaving like low-end machines. Fans started spinning loudly, laptops began heating up more than usual, and battery life dropped significantly. For people who rely on their computers for work, content creation, or gaming, this quickly became frustrating. One of the most worrying reports involved system stability. Some users experienced random system crashes that led to the dreaded blue screen. These crashes seemed to happen without warning, sometimes while opening programs, sometimes while shutting down the computer, and sometimes during completely normal activities like browsing the internet. While blue screens are rare on modern systems, a problematic update can increase the chances dramatically. And many users noticed that these crashes only started happening after installing KB. Another major complaint involves compatibility issues with certain drivers and software. Several users discovered that after installing the update, some programs stopped functioning properly. Certain graphics drivers began behaving unpredictably, causing graphical glitches or crashes in games and editing software. Other users reported that virtualization tools, development environments, and system utilities started producing errors that did not exist before the update was installed. This created a serious problem for developers and professionals who rely on specific tools to do their work. Networking issues were also reported. Some systems began experiencing unstable internet connections after the update was installed. Connections would randomly drop, Wi-Fi speeds would decrease, or Ethernet connections would behave inconsistently. For people working remotely or attending online meetings, these kinds of network problems can become extremely disruptive. The strange thing is that these issues did not appear immediately for every user. In some cases, the system worked fine for a few hours or even a day before the problems started appearing. Another frustrating effect of this update is related to Windows search and indexing. Several users noticed that searching for files or applications suddenly became extremely slow. Instead of instant results, the search bar would freeze or take several seconds to respond. This might sound like a small inconvenience, but when you use your computer every day, delays like this can quickly add up and reduce productivity. There were also reports involving storage performance. On some systems, file transfers became slower after installing the update. Moving large files from one folder to another took longer than before, and copying files to external drives showed inconsistent speeds. For content creators who regularly move large video files or project folders, these slowdowns became very noticeable. Even more concerning were reports that the update interfered with system restore points and recovery options. Normally, if something goes wrong with your system, Windows provides recovery tools that allow you to revert your computer to an earlier state. But some users noticed that restore points disappeared after installing the update, or that the system restore process failed to complete successfully. This made troubleshooting even more difficult. Another problem that many people experienced involved Windows security and background protection services. Some users discovered that after installing the update, certain security features stopped working correctly or produced error messages. This raised concerns because security updates are supposed to improve protection, not interfere with it. All of these problems combined created a situation where many users started recommending that others uninstall KB5074109 until Microsoft releases a fix. And the truth is that if your system has started behaving strangely recently, removing the update could potentially restore normal performance and stability. Fortunately, uninstalling a Windows update is usually straightforward. First, you need to open the Settings application on your computer. From there, navigate to Windows Update and then select Update History. Inside that section, you will see an option labeled Uninstall Updates. When you open that list, you should see all recently installed updates, including KB5074109. By selecting the update and clicking Uninstall, Windows will begin removing it from your system. The process may take several minutes, and your computer will likely restart afterward. After the restart, many users reported that their systems returned to normal behavior. Performance improved, crashes stopped, and applications started working properly again. While this doesn't guarantee that every problem will disappear, it has solved the issue for a large number of affected users. However, there is another important step you should consider after uninstalling the update. Because Windows automatically installs updates, there is a chance that the same update could reinstall itself in the future. To prevent this temporarily, you may want to pause updates for a short period until Microsoft releases a corrected version. Inside the Windows Update settings, you can choose to pause updates for several weeks. This gives Microsoft time to investigate the issue and release a more stable update. Situations like this highlight a larger problem with modern operating systems. Automatic updates are designed to improve security and convenience, but they can sometimes introduce unexpected problems that affect millions of computers. Because Windows runs on such a wide variety of hardware configurations, it is impossible for every possible scenario to be tested before an update is released. This is why many experienced users prefer to delay installing major updates until they have been tested by the community. Waiting even a few days before installing a new update can reveal whether serious issues exist. If problems appear, you can avoid them entirely by simply waiting for the corrected version. For everyday users who rely on their computers for work, study, or entertainment, stability is often more important than receiving updates immediately. While security updates are important, installing a problematic update can sometimes cause more disruption than the vulnerabilities it attempts to fix. It is also important to remember that not every system will experience the same problems. Some users installed KB5074109 and reported no issues at all. Others experienced only minor glitches. But the number of reports describing serious problems has been large enough to raise concerns across multiple tech communities. If your Windows 11 computer has been acting strangely recently, the best approach is to check your update history and see whether KB5074109 was installed. If it was, uninstalling it may help restore your system to the stable state it had before. Technology is constantly evolving, and operating system updates are an essential part of keeping devices secure and functional. But occasionally, an update introduces unexpected side effects. When that happens, the best solution is often to temporarily remove the update and wait for the official fix. Microsoft usually responds quickly. Once widespread issues are confirmed, they may release a patch update, a hotfix, or a revised version of the update that resolves the problems without introducing new ones. Until then, taking control of your system updates can help protect your computer from unnecessary frustration. So if you are using Windows 11 and you recently noticed performance drops, crashes, software glitches, or strange system behavior, It may be time to check whether this update is installed. Uninstalling KB5074109 could be the simple fix that brings your system back to normal. And while updates are important, sometimes the smartest move is knowing when to remove one that is causing more problems than it solves.